Most people, when they say, I'm grateful for something, they are grateful that they've overcome something. And what they have overcome is still active in their vibration, so there is resistance in it. It's like homesickness. That's where home makes you sick. Homesickness is where you're longing for something. It's that feeling of nostalgia is not a pure vibration. You see what we're getting at? Where in appreciation, you're looking forward and you're in alignment. And you are experiencing what we would consider to be the perfect balance of things. It's a different frequency. Happy where I am and eager for more. Happy where I am and understanding that there is so much more. And happy with what is while I can feel so much more in the vortex that will come out into experience where I realize it too. You know how you feel about that? You know how you're feeling right now about that? This is the way that we always want you to feel. Happy about what is and eager for the next book and eager for the next experience and eager for the next and eager for the next, because there will continually be more. No topping off, no complacency. Once you understand what you understand, it can always feel like that. And that's that sweet spot that we've been describing. Because once you've got the basics down, and you do, and once you've filled your vortex and are continuing to add to it, and you've done that and are, and once the vortex is doing what it does, because step 2 is taking place without you, and so the vortex is churning and becoming more, and then you're doing step 3, getting into the receptive mode. From that receptive mode, then just more realization, more, never ending. That's that sweet spot of unfolding that we love. The timing of things is what makes you feel your power, and the being there for the timing. It's like if you're zigging and zagging and zigging and zagging and not ever quite connecting, then you're sort of going through the motions of life, but you're not tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Where if you take the time to get into alignment and then you follow those impulses, then, and the more you do it as you are, the more you recognize what the feelings are. So then if it's not one of those feelings, then you don't get too actualized around it. You let the energy move you rather than you trying to move the energy. As you then just work to get into that receiving mode, that vortex and law of attraction will deliver it to you in a perfect unfolding. You don't have to be the one that figures out the order of things or the how or the where or the when or the who. Just get in the receptive mode and let what you've put in there occur to you. You cannot stop asking. You're asking and asking and asking and asking and asking and asking, and that's all good. So you're continuing to amend or add to what you're asking for. It is important to understand that asking is one vibration that often comes from not having what you want. And receiving is another vibration that must be in alignment with what you want. And so all of that is happening. Your inner being knows what to do and is orchestrating things and law of attraction, and it's all being taken care of. So you're not ever going to stop asking. Jerry and Esther have a friend from a long time. His name is Alan Cohen. He's a wonderful author. And he wrote a book called Why Your Life Sucks and What to Do About It. And the thing that stood out most to Jerry and Esther in the book was a segment on hell yes. And what he said was, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. But yes. And that's that receptive mode. That's that being in the receptive mode where it's really flowing. Because if you're in the receptive mode and the energy is flowing, then your decisions have power and energy and satisfaction. But if you're trying to talk yourself, if you've got this long list of pros and cons, or you're comparing between this and this and this and this and this, there's not energy behind it. And so in those cases, you could pick anything and it would be the same amount of mediocrity. Or you could tune yourself in and follow your hell yeses, you see. And when you think about it, so you can apply that to almost anything, to furthering of your career, to satisfying your reason for being here, to whether to go have dinner with someone or not. In other words, if it feels like, yes, go. If it doesn't, then say, catch you later. Nothing is supposed to happen, but the reason that you're using the words supposed to happen is because you can feel what you put into the vortex coming in, what you've added to it. Your vortex is calling you, and that's why you have that feeling. The vortex is getting ready for you, and as you're getting ready to be in the receptive mode, it will occur, and no one could talk you out of it. Meant to be. Meant to be. Nothing is meant to be. There's a whole lot that's meant to be in the vortex, but meant to be when? That yes means meant to be now. That means something meant to be now, but nothing is meant to be other than what you mean it to be. In other words, nobody's meaning it to be for you. We're not sitting around, let's put some meant to be's in his vortex. Let's wake this guy up. He's missing all the meant to be's. Not like that at all. What happens is there's a whole lot that is meant to be by you. A whole lot that is meant to be by you that you meant to be before you even got into this body, and you've meant to be since you've got into this body, and it is growing, and the harmony of it is staggering. There is so much that is meant to be. But your work is to get into that receptive mode, and the things that are meant to be now, wild horses couldn't keep you from them. There's no possible way that you're not going to do that when you're in the receptive mode and the idea flows, because the energy that creates worlds has sent the idea forth, and you have received it and realized it, and on that kind of momentum, it's for sure going to be satisfying, and it's for sure going to be fun, and it's for sure going to be productive in the way that you want it to be, and it's for sure going to manifest into something that is discernible. We really like it when you are able to feel the correlation between that feeling and then what came out of it. So this is the discussion about how specific should I be, because we've talked also about scripting, about imagining, about seeing something that isn't until you feel like it is. So here's the clarification, and we want this to make that difference for you. When do I become more specific, and when do I be less specific? And the answer isn't the same to everyone, and it isn't the same to anyone all the time. It depends on where you are vibrationally. So let's say that you want something and it currently hasn't come about, and you really want it, but it currently hasn't come about. Well, under those conditions, as you focus more on it, you probably will feel more aggravated about it, more aware of its absence. So that's the time to back off from the specifics and just be general about it. All things in good time, and things are unfolding nicely for me, and I'll know it when I see it, and I'm feeling really good. And there's just general statements about it. However, let's say you've wanted it, you know it's in the vortex, you've been sensing it and feeling it, you've been finding lots of reasons to feel good, you're off the subject often, and so your awareness of the absence of it is not strong, and your anticipation of it unfolding is getting stronger and stronger, and now you're finding yourself thinking about it, and it's pleasurable to think about it. It makes you feel happy to think about it. The thinking about it is bringing it more to life. Thinking about it and talking about it. You want to talk about it. You want to think about it. Then that's the time to do it for the pleasure of it. So what we're saying to you with all of this is, if it feels like work, it isn't working. If it feels like fun, keep doing it. If it feels the least bit like work, you're trying to overcome resistance. And anytime you're trying to overcome resistance, you're not overcoming it, you're enhancing the resistance. So it is well known who you are and what you want. And we could break it down into just a few short statements. You want to feel in a hands-on, focused, alert way your own expansion, because that just feels so good. You want to feel the upliftment of being all that you've come to, and to take that whole of you and focus it into any moment in time. You want to bring the whole of you into any conversation that you're having with anyone. You want to feel that confidence and that love and that certainty and that knowing, you see. So it doesn't matter what subject that you're wanting. It all fits together. But then the pieces that you've put there and what they represent and what they have become and what they are becoming with your constant attention to it, because you can't stop feeding this vortex. So now it's ready for you to be ready for it. And as you get into that receiving mode, now all of this magnificent essence that you've put there can now evolve into the details that you are now assigning to it as you move along. And that's why and when talking about specifics is really, really fun and productive. It's like all the work that you've been doing has put the essence and the power and the certainty into the vortex, and now you get to cash in your chips and experience the benefit of all of this vibrational currency that you've been amassing, and you get to spend it, so to speak, on the details of the things that matter most to you. Whether it's uplifting the world in some way or specifically satisfying yourself in some way, it's all there for you to utilize in whatever way you decide. Do you have a sense of what this vibrational reality is that we're talking about, this vortex? So in it, you have put lots of requests, lots of asking. But you, if we said to you, here's a book, please write down to the best of your ability everything that you've been asking for, you couldn't do it with much detail, because you ask incrementally, and that asking melded together into more and more and more. That's why you can be surprised and delighted with the receiving of what you've been asking for. But there is something else that we want you to understand about this. Everything that you're asking for has at its basis a true essence of asking. For example, when you ask for more money, you're asking for freedom. Not just the receiving of things. You're asking for lifestyle. You're asking for beingness. You're asking for satisfaction. So many of the things that you ask for that seem like different subjects. Let's say you're asking for a vehicle. You're still asking for freedom. You're still asking for lifestyle. You're asking for mobility. You see what we're getting at? So there is a deep essence that is beneath everything that you're asking for. And in fact, there isn't anything that anybody believes that they want or that anyone wants, whether it's a pile of money or a relationship or a circumstance or an event or there isn't anything that anybody is asking for any reason other than they believe that they would feel better in the having of it. So everything that you're asking for is to satisfy your thirst for more, to satisfy your exhilaration to focus, to satisfy your beingness as a creator. And so you could literally take any one aspect from your vortex and focus upon it, and that one subject, no matter how narrow it seems, would hold within it the essence of every single other thing that's in your vortex that you want.